Come and sing a song with me, song with me, song with me. Come and sing a song with me here in my own yard. Sun is shining bright today, bright today, bright today. Sun is shining bright today here in my own yard. We will have a story time, story time, story time. Come and share this story time here in my own yard. Hi, I'm Natalie, and I'm a volunteer with Reiman Gardens in Ames. I am missing my caterpillar friends so much. Thanks for joining me here today in my garden. Have you noticed all of the things that are starting to grow in our gardens? Let me show you some of the things that are growing in my garden today. These are my irises starting to grow. They will have some bright purple flowers on them when they bloom. I hope we can see them later. I wish I could be at Reiman Gardens right now. The tulips are blooming and they're so beautiful. Hopefully we will get there soon. Here are the first flowers blooming in my garden. These are the narcissus. Aren't they beautiful? Look at that yellow and the bright white and the green. So many colors. These are one of my favorite flowers. They're the rose peony, and someday they're going to have bright purplish red flowers on them. They're my favorite because they remind me of my mom. She used to grow these in her garden. Look what's growing here. It's a dandelion. Did you see Jacqueline's story about Nibbles the guinea pig eating the dandelion leaves? Here's one of those dandelions, not yet blooming, but let's see if we can find the yellow bud starting to grow. Look, I found one of those dandelion buds. It is so yellow. You know what? I have a story to read to you today about the yellowest of yellow. I wonder if it's a dandelion. Let's read the story and find out. Today I want to read to you one of my special books. Perhaps you've heard this before, so stick around. The name of my book is Swatch, the Girl Who Loved Color. It is written and illustrated by Julia Denos. Swatch, the Girl Who Loved Color by Julia Denos, and published by HarperCollins. In a place where colors run wild, there lived a little girl who was wilder still. Her name was Swatch, and she was a color tamer. She could run with the wildest shades, train them to dance and do magic. With a little patience, she learned to hunt the rare ones. Bravest Green shot up the first week in March. In between Gray lived on her kitten's legs. Rumble Tumble Pink rolled through the sky on the heels of outgoing thunderstorms. When she called them by name, they would come to her because Swatch loved color, and color loved Swatch back. Swatch had never thought of capturing a color until the day she lured Just Laid Blue straight from its nest and into the jam jar. "Stay," Swatch said, and the color stayed. How beautiful it looked behind glass. "You could use a friend," she said to Blue. So she caught one more, then another. Soon Swatch's room was full to bursting. The colors circled restless in their jars. They were magnificent, but there was still one color left to catch. Morning came, and there it was, fast, fading, and fierce, the king of all yellows, blooming in the sidewalk crack in spite of the shadows. Swatch was ready. At last, yellowest yellow would be hers. Suddenly, she heard a small sound. "Ahem," said yellowest yellow. "What are you doing?" Swatch had never asked if a color wanted taming. "Yellowest yellow," she said politely, "would you like to climb into this jar? You could sit on a shelf right next to blue. You could make green together all day long if you wanted. I'll poke holes in the top and I'll feed you dinner." But yellow, knowing that was no way to live, said, "No, thank you." And Swatch, who could have scooped it up anyway, said, "Okay." Given that small but kindly allowance, it grew and yawned and stretched and twirled. It bloomed and whirled and leaked and swirled, spreading, billowing, twisting, up, up, up. It sprouted ears and pointy teeth. It was as big as a house. Roar! Swatch felt small. Her jar seemed silly. She had forgotten colors were wild, so she shut her eyes and prepared to be eaten. Then Swatch heard something sweet and warbling, like a fleet of canaries. She smelled something warm and buttery, like breakfast. Then something swished against her knee, purring and soft, and just like home. So she opened her eyes and reached out her hand, and stretching from her tiptoes, she found she could indeed touch Yellow. "Hold on," Yellow said, and it pulled her up, 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 high over the rooftops. She called her colors by name, and they came to her. Together, they make a masterpiece. I love this book. Perhaps you could make a masterpiece at your house. Let's look at some of the things we could use to make our masterpiece. Maybe some of you were at story time last summer when we read that book about Swatch and all the beautiful colors. We'd used some of the paints that we captured in our jars. Some beautiful pink, some bright green, and the yellowest of yellow, and some paintbrushes. And we put a shower curtain between two posts or two trees, and we hung it up and we painted on it. See this little boy? He was painting a beautiful masterpiece with paints on a shower curtain. You could do that on a sheet. I wonder if you could even just use water to paint maybe on the fence or on the sidewalk. Speaking of sidewalk, I brought out my sidewalk chalk, and I am going to do a masterpiece on the driveway with some of my sidewalk chalk in just a little bit. You could also use watercolor paints. Maybe you've got some watercolor paints, and you could use some paper. You could sit on your porch and do some painting with watercolor paints, or maybe even inside. Do you have any crayons? Maybe that's the way to do your masterpiece. You come up with your own ideas, and let's see what you can create. Thanks so much for coming. I have been so glad to be able to help you to bring this to you today. Thanks, and hope to see you soon back at Caterpillar Club. See you. Bye. Let's see, I've got a heart. I think I'll do a sun. Lots of color. The sun is shining today. And now I just want lots of squigglies in purple. Let's throw some blue in there. I need a little green. I need some green. Where's my green? There we are. There's some green. Wow, you could do so many things to create your own masterpiece. Maybe you could paint some cookies or paint in the snow. So many ways to be an artist and create a masterpiece.